Hello friends, a warm welcome to all the Wisdom Jobs viewers. In this video, I am going to talk about the definitions of what is an irreversible reaction and what is a reversible reaction, and I am going to present you some examples for reversible and irreversible reactions. Now, before going to this topic, I request you all to subscribe to our channel wisdomjobs.com because we are going to give you so much of information and knowledge in the form of videos. So, if you are not subscribing to our channel, you are going to miss these videos, and so we are requesting you to subscribe to our channel. And if you have got any queries regarding this topic, please do express your doubts in the form of comments, and whenever we find time, we are going to answer your comments and queries. So let us start the topic. The topic of today's discussion is about what is a reversible reaction and what is an irreversible reaction. Now, in chemistry, the compounds which are going to react to give products or end products are called as reactants. Okay, so those compounds which react together to give end products. So these are those 2 or 3 reactants which are reacting are reactants, and those substances which are formed as end products, those are called as products. Okay, now we have based on the formation of the products, whether they are fully formed or whether they are partly formed, and the products once they react back, and if they are forming the products or not, the reactants or not. Based on such a logic, we are going to have 2 types of reactions, namely irreversible reaction and reversible reaction. Now, what is a irreversible reaction? The chemical change or the chemical reaction which proceeds in such a way that only the reactants are completely converted into products, and the products cannot be reacting back and get the respective reactants. Such a reaction I am going to call as irreversible reaction. Now, in irreversible reaction, we have reactants reacting and forming products So the reverse process is not possible. Okay, so the reverse process means what? From the products, the respective reactants, if I am able to get, that is reverse reaction. So only in one direction the reaction proceeds. In what direction it will proceed? From reactants to products, the reaction is proceeding, and the reactants react together to give the products, the end products of the reaction. So if the reactants are able to be produced once again from products, such a reaction I can call it as reversible reaction. Now let me give you some examples of what are different irreversible reactions. Now, the formation of barium sulfate from barium chloride and sodium sulfate reaction is one example of irreversible reaction. Now, what made me to say that this is an irreversible reaction is, now barium chloride plus sodium sulfate gives rise to barium sulfate precipitate plus common salt. Now, in this reaction, these 2 react together to produce barium sulfate and of course sodium chloride. Okay, but even once again barium sulfate and sodium chloride after they react, they cannot re-give the barium chloride and sodium sulfate. So had it been that reaction in which barium sulfate and sodium chloride react once again to give barium chloride and sodium sulfate, it would have been a reversible reaction. So what is happening here? The reaction is proceeding only in one direction. What is that one direction? From reactants to products. So such a reaction I can call it as irreversible reaction. Now, if the barium sulfate and sodium chloride reacting once again and giving BaCl2 and sodium sulfate is impossible. Since it is impossible, it is an example of irreversible reaction. Now let me give you some more examples of these reactions. Now, some more examples of irreversible reactions are potassium chlorate. Okay, so if I take potassium chlorate and heat it. So KClO3 on heating will produce KCl, that is potassium chloride, and oxygen. Okay, so now in this reaction these two reacting together will not produce potassium chlorate. Okay, so that's why it is an irreversible reaction. Next we have got some more reactions for examples. So ammonium nitrate on heating will give you ammonia gas and H2 gas, I mean water. Okay, next after that one more reaction which is very common, silver nitrate or lunar caustic reacting with sodium chloride will give you silver chloride precipitate and sodium nitrate. Okay, next we have got one more reaction which is irreversible. For example, so lead nitrate. Okay, lead nitrate is PbNO3 taken twice plus potassium iodide would give you lead iodide precipitate and potassium nitrate. Yeah, so these are some of the examples of irreversible reactions. Now of course we have got some more reactions here, like stannous chloride or tin chloride reacting with the ferric chloride gives you stearic chloride and ferrous chloride. Okay, similarly magnesium oxidizing will give you magnesium oxide, so on and so forth. So we have got these are some of the examples of irreversible reactions. Now let me explain you what are reversible reactions. Now in those reactions in which both the forward reaction and backward reaction are possible, that reaction I am going to call as reversible reaction. That is, what is forward reaction? From reactants to products. So this is forward reaction. Okay, so always reactants when they react give you products. Now sometimes the other type of reaction is also possible, that is the products react together to give back the reactants. So this reaction is called as reversible reaction. Okay, so forward reaction is from reactants to products and reverse reaction is from products to reactants. So if both the equations are possible, or if both the reactions are possible, such a reaction I am going to call it as reversible reaction. So they might, in some cases they might be simultaneously reacting and simultaneously forming products from reactants and reactants from products. Okay, now let me explain you some examples of reverse reaction. Now magnetite, which is of course one of the ore of iron, Fe3O4, when it is hydrized, when it is put to reaction with hydrogen, so it will give you precipitate of iron and 4H2O, water is liberated. Okay, next on the other hand the reverse reaction is also possible, that is 3Fe, that means if I take powdered iron and if I completely agitate with water, that is if I make it react with water, so 4H2O gives rise to back reaction is also possible. That means here when these two are reacting, obviously these will become the products. So magnetite is once again reformed, plus of course hydrogen gets liberated. So this is one of the examples of reverse reactions. So let me give you some more reactions for examples of reverse reactions. Now in reversible reactions we take calcium carbonate heated gives rise to calcium oxide and carbon dioxide, and once again calcium oxide and carbon dioxide mixed together will form calcium carbonate. Similarly formation of ammonia, when nitrogen and hydrogen are heated at a very high temperatures, it will form ammonia gas. Similarly, ammonia gas will get disintegrated into nitrogen gas and hydrogen gas as a reverse reaction. So both the forward reaction and reverse reaction are possible. That's why it is also an example of reversible reaction. So in the next class, I am going to explain you about the rate of reaction in case of irreversible and reversible reactions. And if you have got any doubts or queries in this topic, I am requesting you to express your queries or doubts in the form of comments in the comments box provided at the bottom of the video, and as and when we get the time for you, definitely we are going to answer all your queries. So I feel this video is informative to you. So if you have not yet subscribed, please do subscribe to our channel Wisdom Jobs. Thank you for watching this video.